And one night, they did. Their leader, Shaku, smiled slowly. The sidechicks were payment for your rise. But to keep the power, you must choose something else to give. Cynthia's breath froze. They asked for Desmond, her husband, the cheating husband who ruined her life. She closed her eyes. The circle asked, "Will you offer him?" Her hand shook. She remembered the tears, the humiliation, the nights she slept in the bathroom. She looked up. "Yes," she whispered. The ritual was not death, but something worse. The circle didn't kill Desmond. They took what he valued most: his pride, his charm, his destiny. The next morning, he woke up trembling like someone who had seen the underworld. His voice disappeared. His dreams crumbled. His business collapsed overnight. People said, "This man is walking, but his spirit is gone." He became quiet, afraid, completely powerless. 3 days after, he went broke that he couldn't afford sleeping around. Cynthia didn't touch him. She didn't even look at him. The circle had taken control of everything he was. And suddenly, Cynthia, the once abandoned wife, became the woman people feared and respected. Her wealth doubled, her beauty sharpened, her presence became something heavy, powerful, unforgettable. But power has a price. Late at night, when the world was silent, she often heard invisible footsteps in her room, whispers in corners, shadows watching her sleep. She got her revenge, freedom, and wealth. But she also got the circle. And they never leave, not even when you're tired, regret, or try to run. Cynthia became what she feared. Weeks passed. People whispered about her in the market, in salons, in church. Some said she was glowing too much. Some said her shadow moved before she did. Some said her eyes had become too sharp, too knowing. She felt it too. The circle's power was inside her, like a second heartbeat. At first, she told herself she would stop. No more rituals, no more revenge, no more darkness. She even considered packing her bags and traveling far away to start over. But the circle does not release its chosen. One night, while she was cleaning her dressing table, the mirror fogged by itself. A voice whispered from behind her reflection. Power is not something you use and walk away from. You become it. She froze. Her reflection was smiling, but she wasn't. That was the moment she knew. There was no escaping. Not after everything she had accepted. Cynthia didn't escape. She became something darker, but also stronger, wiser, untouchable. She became the second in command of the Odema Circle, a role only given to women whose pain had boiled long enough to turn into pure power. Her duty? To guide broken women, to punish wicked men silently, to maintain the balance of the circle, and to ensure no woman ever suffers like she did. Her old self died the night she said yes to sacrificing Desmond. For months, she ruled quietly. Her name alone brought fear. Her presence alone settled scores, until someone new arrived in town. A man named Edzena, calm and soft-spoken, an herbalist with a strange reputation, and a smile that felt too deep. People said, he sees things, he knows things, and shadows don't scare him. Cynthia noticed him the first day he walked past her compound, and her shadow trembled. The circle called an emergency meeting. Mama Shaku, the leader, whispered, He has power that is older than ours. Edzena began helping men, the same men the circle punished. He restored their destinies. He healed their businesses. He broke the invisible chains they placed. He even went to Desmond, who had been empty for months, suddenly stood straighter, his voice returned, his dreams flickered back to life. And Cynthia's power trembled. The circle warned her, "He is your danger." Cynthia confronted him one night, saying, "Who sent you?" Edzena replied, "You rose too high. Every kingdom needs a challenger, and I am yours." For the first time since she joined the circle, she felt fear. Not that she would lose, but that she finally met someone strong enough to touch her heart and her power, and the beginning of a war she never saw coming. When Cynthia sacrificed Desmond's destiny, she believed it was final. But Edzena brought something back. Desmond's spirit. Not fully, just enough to wake the old memories she tried to bury. One night, she dreamt of her past. The bathroom floor, the voice notes, the nights she cried until morning, the humiliation. But something new happened. She saw Desmond standing in her dream, looking at her with eyes full of regret and fear. He said in the dream, "They are coming for you. Run." Cynthia woke up, sweating and shaking. The circle's room suddenly grew cold. Mama Shaku rushed in. "Cynthia, your husband's spirit is moving again. Something is breaking your seal." She felt the truth hit her. Edzena wasn't just challenging her power. He was waking up the shadows she thought she had buried. He was unlocking the past she sacrificed. He was stirring something inside her. Something dangerous. A force older than the circle. Older than revenge. Older than her pain. A force that wanted her. The circle gathered around her in a circle of fire. Mama Shaku told her, "You have two choices. Destroy Edzena, or he will destroy everything you built." But then the room darkened. A wind blew, and she heard a voice she hadn't heard in months. Soft, broken, trembling. It was her husband's voice, telling her, "They are lying to you." Cynthia panicked. "You were never meant to be free?" Darkness swallowed the room, and the final battle began. The night before the battle, Amara couldn't sleep. The circle women surrounded her, chanting for protection. Edzena stood alone under the Iroko tree, calm as still water. Chike's spirit hovered between both sides, flickering like a dying flame. The air felt heavy, like the world was holding its breath. Cynthia stepped into the ritual ground, her wrapper tied tight, her eyes glowing gold. Edzena stood opposite her. He said, "You were never the villain. You were the weapon." Cynthia replied, "And you came here to stop me?" He shook his head and said, "No, I came to free you." Cynthia's shadow lashed out automatically, trying to bind him, but Edzena didn't move. The shadow couldn't touch him. He lifted a small wooden bowl. Inside was something she never expected. Her name. Written in ancient symbols. The seal the circle used to bind her soul. She staggered backward and said, You broke my seal?" Edzena nodded, but before she could speak again, the circle women began to scream.
Mama Shaku stepped forward, saying, "You betrayed the circle. We gave you power. We made you queen." Cynthia's anger ignited like fire, and she replied, "You used my pain, my tears. You never wanted me healed. You wanted me trapped." The circle unleashed their spirits, screaming shadows, twisting shapes, dark energy. She felt them pulling at her soul, trying to reclaim the power she carried. Edzena grabbed her hand. Cynthia lifted her head and screamed, "I am not your prisoner. I choose my own destiny." A burst of power exploded from her chest, pure, blinding white light mixed with the gold of her evolved shadow. The circle women were thrown backward, their masks cracked, their shadows dissolved, their power disintegrated. Mama Shaku fell to her knees, trembling. That was how she freed herself. The circle's spiritual bond shattered, and they vanished like dust in the wind. The ground became silent. Cynthia stood alone, but the battle wasn't over. After the circle fell, a strange, calm breeze spread across the ritual ground. The sky turned gray. Cynthia looked at Izena and asked, "Is it over?" Izena shook his head slowly and said, "You have two paths now, to be free or to be feared forever." He held out the wooden bowl with her name and said, "If you break this, your power will calm. You'll become human again." Her shadow told her, "Without me, you'll be weak. Men will hurt you again. Life will break you again." Cynthia trembled. The choice was tearing her apart. And then her husband, Desmond, spirit appeared behind her saying, "I hurt you. I broke you. But don't let my sins turn you into something you were never meant to be." A tear rolled down her cheek. "You deserve peace." Cynthia closed her eyes and made her final decision. She lifted the wooden bowl. Her shadow screamed, "Don't do it! You will lose everything." Izena whispered, "You will gain yourself." She smashed the bowl on the ground. A sharp crack echoed across the entire town. Her shadow thrashed violently, then dissolved into dust, leaving only a faint golden glow around her. The wind returned. The sky brightened. She let go and was finally free. Her husband Desmond learned his lessons too,